Should I say what I'm doing? Taking out the C-clips? Are these C-clips?
I call them circlips. But yeah, now don't break that tool. Sometimes if they're like that, you may be able to get them out with a conventional set of pliers.
I put my glasses
These aren't quite sharp enough, and unlike what Chris Fick said, you can put the drive shaft in a vise. You just need to do it carefully. Right. Now I've got this tool that you can use. It's a bit wonky. It's a universal tool, which means it flips back and forth and it has different tips that go on the front. But it can sometimes work okay. It's not as great as a fixed tool. Well, even this isn't a fixed tool. It can work. So you can try that one, you can try that one. I have another tool that's pretty good, but the fulcrum got messed up. So, let me get you set up with a squeezer for that. Prime squeezer. So these come from friend Leo, who said, "Do you have some of these?" And I said, "No, they look awesome." Hang on a second. And so he ordered them for me because he's a nice guy. Check this out. They magnet onto the vise. Yeah. And then they have this little depression that runs along them.
Maybe Chris Fick said that because most people don't have these.
That's true. So now you can get this thing in here and you can hold it gently like so and really have a much better purchase on it. Chris Fix is such a great guy. Yeah, those pliers he had were interesting. So you can try these. They have an angled tip that's pretty good. But
and it's just stuck there. I mean, that's not the problem.
Oh, well then pound it around. Yeah, pound it around with that guy.
I didn't know how you did. Do I just stick it in here?
Yeah, and then just give it a hit with this tiny hammer. It's kind of a big hammer for that job. Get yourself to a steady position. So you know how it's going like this? Get it to a position where it's not going to do that. And then, yeah, there you go. And then flip your hammer so that you're, oh, look at you. You got it. You got it. Very nice. Counter upstairs for class. I'll be right back.
The people who are listening?
Yeah.
The none?
Not right now.
I am taking the grime off of the inside surface so the caps can slide out. So he's gone. Okay. stuff inside. Can I not do that? Okay, maybe not.
Close your eyes when you hit things in. Take a look.
This one was more difficult. So.
Well, you can see the shaft was extra rusty down here, and this flange is all rusty. So, yeah. Now, do you have this one index marked so it can go back the same way?
No, not yet.
All right. Great. That's nice, and I really like this method of clearing these things out because it's not necessary for them to be as constrained. Yeah, that thing just pretty much goes away.
Wow.
Maybe
that's why it wasn't as good.
Right. Those Harbor Freight ones, they don't work very well, so you got to spin them slowly, and it helps if you cool them off with lubricant, but after a while they just die anyway. Lubricant. No, it's fine. So this inside diameter isn't critical for either the retention or the function of that cap.
Mm-hmm.
All it does is serve to retain the circlet. And they just drill at the same diameter because, hey, you're doing production, you got to make 1,000 of these a day. You're not going to take extra time to make this a couple thousandths bigger. But in this case, this is going to make it always easier to use from here on in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fine, looks great. I think that'll be just great. So yeah, go ahead and figure out if there is an index mark that already exists, then you want to respect that. If there's not, then you'll want to choose how you're going to make it and where.
Well, there's something. There's that.
Oh, there is that.
Kind of like
that's got the part number 2. So I guess you could just take advantage of that. What I would do is I'd put one right here, and I'd put one right there. Just right here, like that.
Okay. With that?
No.
Okay.
And then one right there, like that.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
Should I hold it in here? Should do that first one?
I don't know.
Not that one. The other one.
Oh, this one here?
No, this one. Should I hold it in here so I could do that?
I don't know. Maybe. Let's see.
Oh, I was gonna say
About like
this.
that. So when you pound down on it, you want it to resist. So that'll resist. Just hit it. Boom, like that. I put the thing away.
Ooh.
Like put stuff away, apparently. Can we move that one? Let's see. Maybe what we can do is hit it like that. Hit it right there.
What?
Can you hit it right there?
Like this?
Yeah, try that. See if that's any good. Not stellar.
No. I mean, I'm making marks, but it doesn't look good. Can I hold it in the red things?
Sure. It's going to absorb a lot of the impact, but you can try. ahead and put it in the weld in there too. That way the weld will give a little better hold. Go ahead and tighten it up. This is the weld here, the structural element.
And?
Well, it's good to clamp onto that.
Oh. It's not great.
Well, a lot of this is being absorbed. You got to preload the polyurethane so that it becomes stiffer. Now try it. Can you hear the different noise?
Yeah.
That's fine. It's easy to see. Now that one,
we can just do it here.
yeah, you don't want to pooch out this side because that flange needs to sit nice and tight against the differential, or wherever. If you put this on the front, I don't know. Sometimes there's clearance issues that dictate it has to go back in a certain way. Can you do it like that?
Maybe.
Just hold on to it. Let me see if we get this. Is that out of your way anymore or less? All right, got multi-marks. Fantastic. Okay. Yeah, that's great. Nice little U-joint. Okay. So now you have to determine your method for removing them. Think about the load path. Try not to pass the load path across more than one flange. Let me see if I've got that tool that he has in the video.
I feel like that would work the best.
Got birds in the shop again, or in the plates.
Really?
Yeah, can you hear them? They're so noisy. Little baby birds. Pretty much springtime birds. There's that and that. So I have these friends, and I bought a bunch of stuff from their shop when they closed their shop. And here's one of the things. It's these cute little trays. Isn't that fun? All right, so next step for you is what? Am I helping you with something?
Did you have the clamp or no?
Oh, that's what I was looking for. Haha. Yeah, because I think it's with the stuff that those guys gave me, but I'm just going to look once again. Let's see.
Where'd you put the clamps? I mean, the
Oh,
soft
they're in
jaws.
7.3R. or 7.4R?
3.
7.3, okay. One of those. Don't know if that's useful or not, but it's really cute. Alright, I'll see if I find that plan. Come on, Daisy. Yeah, one more idea.
No response.
To whom?
Me.
From whom?
Anyone.
About what?
My response to the racism video.
Oh, wait,
I.
that's racist. That's racist. That's racist. What's this? Not that. This is not it. Okay, that's not it. No, the answer is no. There's a rheostat I was looking for the other day. Remember I was looking for this rheostat thing? Here it is.
Oh,
What was that for?
changing something.
The speed of some AC motor. I don't know if it's really a rheostat. It might be something else. It's relatively low cost though, so it may just be. Okay, so you should try the method that they show in the factory parts book, because this thing is so nice it might even work.
Factory parts book?
Yeah, did we look at that from our friends?
I mean, unless it's in this. Is this what you're talking about?
What? No, that's the.
This is the factory parts book.
Oh, that's the Moss Motors parts book. Sorry, I meant the factory repair manual.
Oh, no.
Okay, so what they tell you to do, it's kind of funny, is they say that you just like hold this thing in your hand or something and you pound it, like that's even going to work. But with the amount of pre-work you've done here, it might actually work if you just hold it in the vise and just pound like this. That cup might drive out the bottom. So here I'm going like this. We'll drive that cup. The other way you can drive the cup is boom, 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 like that.
I don't know. Okay.
So that's what I would do if I was you. See if it works. And put your little finger down there so you can feel if it's moving. Now you need to take advantage of the full angle, so there you go. You can hear the difference. It's likely this won't work because it's just too... Oh, is it moving?
Not down.
It's not moving? Here, let's see. Not moving. Okay, so the other method is the socket method, and that's pretty good.
Thought I had a set of sockets out.
The problem with this is these aren't flat. And so the socket really isn't going to hold on that side very well because it's angled.
Sorry, just moving.
Well, okay, but if you drive it down, you won't be able to get the cup back through. So that's the thing you don't want to do, is drive the cups down. Because on a British car, on these old British cars, if you push that socket down, the cross gets locked in here, and you can't get it up and you can't get it apart. So maybe it works on modern cars because they're nicer, but on these old cars it doesn't work.
Okay.
Sometimes. It's not reliable, let's say.
So, what do you normally do with old cars?
Well, the first thing I would do is I would lubricate these because,
What?
well, probably PB Blaster is fine, or any kind of oil. You could use Croil.
Oil.
Yeah.
Just.
Yep. And the hope is that that's going to move down where it needs to go. Anyway.
Too much.
I don't know. Probably okay. Ideally, it would come through the other parts, but then the fit may be tight enough that it won't. Because there's enough rust on here that, you know, rust is expansive, right? It's FeO2 or FeO3 or something. So it increases in volume when it goes into places. So that's why rusty things are difficult to move. They get stuck because the rust expansion. So hit that there just for wiggles and giggles. Nice. Here we go again on your own. Okay.
On my what?
Here you go again on your own. Going down the only road you've ever known. All right. Okay, that's great. And then you should probably oil the other one anyway, just for fun. What I usually like to do on these things is I'll take off the first, the most outside ones first. And what I mean by that is the ones that are furthest from the end of the shaft, or from the middle of the shaft. That way you can use the cross to get it out of the yoke that's fastened to the shaft.
That smells like root beer.
Huh.
From a distance.
Let me see that. That's what Bette Midler said. All right. Let's see. So if you hit this, that cup should come up, right there. And it's already kind of at the minimum. The cup should come up relative to the yoke or the flange. So if you pound like that, this thing, it should rise. So give that a shot and see what happens. Let's preload the polyurethane a little more. Some of those hits sound good and some of them don't sound very productive.
Okay.
Doesn't look like any of them are productive. Is that scooching up? Oh, maybe it is. I can't really tell. Not so much. You can tell because it'll get a little play in it this way.
Does it?
Maybe.
Should I use this one or should
Probably. Probably use the big one.
Why are you keeping that waffle there?
Waffle? Oh, I don't know. It just showed up.
Waffle? Waffle the wasp?
No, I just I saw it this morning. I thought I'd leave it there so you could see it.
Thanks.
No, it's just hanging out.
Pointy.
It died in the shop for some reason. Not really having any luck. That's a bit unfortunate. Well, we can try the socket method, and just it's not going to line up perfectly, but maybe it doesn't matter. So one socket goes in, and I usually use half sets, not the, so 9.3 for 9.4. Yeah, that snap-on half set right there is pretty sweet. So we'll just hold it up here and see which ones look good.
This one. Oh, that one.
Does it actually fit? Is it a perfect fit? Oh, that's amazing. Now you need one bigger. One that's big enough that the cup will go inside of it. So like this one or that one. I don't know. You have to hold it up to look and see. That one definitely will work. This one might work.
We don't need it small.
Now with this method, you just take advantage of strain, constant or serious strain. You don't use the plastic. So anyway, you got to make the thing a lot bigger. This guy here. Put that in there. Oh, sorry, not that way. What are we doing? Hang on a second. I'm having a trouble. Okay, so you have to think about it. It's like a little math problem here. How do you drive this cup out?
Put this guy here and put the inside on this side.
Well, that'll drive that cup in. You don't want to drive cups in because they might never come out again. And then you have to like cut them with a torch or something. So how do we drive that cup out without driving this one in?
Hang on to this side.
Right. Now that's something we don't want to do without padding, especially not on the well or on the shaft. What we could do is what looks like you were starting to do, which is put it down right here and just pound on it.
That's what he did.
Okay.
Just put the socket on top.
Oh, you
that
put the
drives it in.
socket on top. Yeah, right. That drives it in.
But you don't want to do?
Well, I've had such bad luck on British cars knocking the sockets in, or knocking the caps in. So, let's see. What if we went like, it'd be cool if we had a way to press outside of this on those two things.
There's some things.
Yeah, if we had a way to press like this, if we could press like that, and then let it push this side out. Press on that thing like so. So what would that be? It would be this, like that. So then you pound your socket right there. Hit the socket right there.
Okay.
Not that one. Yeah, that one. Okay. And just pound that guy like so.
Your hands are so warm.
Your mom's warm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Should I hit it like this?
Sure.
Get it off. That's going to be great.
It might not be.
Nope.
It sounded better. We got no luck. Let's see if we have any play. Oh yeah, you're moving it. Definitely moving it.
Do you want something to set that in?
Yeah, hang on.
Perfect. Oh, that felt different.
I feel movement.
Whoa.
I feel all the movement.
What's that? Oh, look at that.
That's amazing. Coming up. All right, now the cool thing is, well, go ahead. Let's see how it goes here. Ooh, that felt good. You may run into a situation where you you run into a mechanical limit of something. So you got to kind of always be watching and feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got lots of play. That thing's scooching back and forth. But you can flip it around and do the other side. Same deal. We'll be on here. We're on nothing. Okay. Oh, that one's easy. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay, so you know how we showed the close-up pic of the little needles falling over
Yeah.
and having to be straightened out? You can use that to your advantage. Knock a few of them over and then use them to drive it out because it gets thicker. But actually, we're not there yet. So you got to still drive a little bit more.
So we're taking the caps out
Yeah, taking the caps out the top there.
without removing the U-joint?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Just by moving the U-joint? Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Ooh, nice.
Oh.
Whoa, cool.
Smoky.
Smoky. That's fun. Now you see those
I don't
tiny
know
little
if-
shards. That's interesting. So you had to actually beat metal out of the way.
And he grabbed it.
He grabbed it. So you could grab it with a pair of pliers, usually something that's pretty stout. Yeah, might be able to use this guy.
What does Dane say? It's a song.
What song?
Just Dance by Lady Gaga.
It'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Da da do do do. Just dance. Spin that record, babe. Okay, I'll get this a little closer. So what I like to do is I like to have these handles
Battery saver.
really pretty close.
Yeah.
If I'm latched on like this, I don't have a lot of torque.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to move these down until they're real close. Try that. See if that works. No, choke up on it so you're inside here. There you go. Sometimes what this does works, and sometimes it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, what I end up... I'm going to push the button. Push button.
You want these close together?
No, I want the handles close together. Because you don't have these yoke retained, you're going to be kind of fighting a bunch of loose play. That's not going to be great. Alright, so what I do is purposefully tip over some of those needles. So you come out here, grab a few needles, knock them over. Like, well, you got to sort of get them to tip over. Maybe you
I
can
can
use
just
a
hit it
screwdriver.
again.
Yeah, maybe you can just hit it again.
Yeah, I don't want to move the needle.
How do we move the needle? That's the thing at Boeing.
I
Okay.
can move it.
It looks like you're close to the mechanical limit. See that? The yoke is running into the
What's the yoke?
spider. This is the yoke here. Because this is a yoke.
Is this a yoke?
It is a yoke.
Or the outer
And this
yoke?
is the spider here. Or the cross. So this isn't, you can't pound it anymore because the yoke has run into that spider thing.
Oh.
See the clash right there? So it won't go any further.
Some of it.
The best way to do it is to rotate it.
Okay.
So let's see if we can stick it in there. Okay, go ahead and tighten it right there just for fun. Okay, now you might be able to rotate it on there and see what happens. Now this tool works in a certain way. Oh yeah, it looks like you're using it the right way.
Yeah. No, I need this down.
Down, okay. Oh, look at you. So just turn it back and forth. Just go E. And then it can kind of, or not.
What? Moving it back and
Well,
forth.
apparently, because the teeth are canted, it only really goes one way.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get a different thing. And instead of rounding off the tool, we will flip some needles. Flip those little needles.
Is that bad?
What?
Flipping the needles, will they get bent at all?
Well, we're going to throw them away. Because they're part of the new U-Joint. So, get that. Flip a few of those guys down. Oh, yeah. That one's good. Got some needles flipped. This one. Nope, not yet. These needles are just too nice. They won't comply with falling over. Nope. Okay, knock this one out. Because those needles did comply, so.
Wait, this way?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's going against the needles. Is that what making the ringing noise? On the other side?
Maybe. It looks like you had a hit right here, and so that rounded off the rim. So we're going to get some shards coming off there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's going to actually have to hog out the metal on the yoke in order to make it, in order to push the cup out.
I don't know if I have the strength to do that.
Okay. I can beat on it if you're uncomfortable.
Ah.
That was close.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. I'm actually going to try it with the metal sound and see how it goes. Oh, that felt productive. But not. Felt productive, but it's not. Thought it was candy, but it's not. Okay, that isn't working. I think this socket might be a little too small because it's gotten beat over a few times. This sure is a pain in the butt. Oh, that felt it.
Yeah.
You want to finish it?
Thanks. I think that's at the yoke.
Okay. Let's try a vice grip. Squeeze it as hard as you can. That's probably not hard enough. Probably just going to spin on there. I'll tighten this up now that you're... Just rotate it. Yep, just back and forth like that. Great.
I think they broke.
Oh, it happens. Yeah, I mean, if there's two crossed over each other and you're pounding on it, they'll break.
Cool though.
You might actually be able to get the
It's like a metal
spider
spring.
out of there at this point, depending on how far that other one is out. But at least we should be able to get the needles tipped over. Okay. So now this part's easy because you can just drive a socket right down through there and pound it out. It helps if you take off this rubber part because you don't want to lose your energy to the rubber. Just take that out and then set this. I usually try to like set it in there close to it or something. Just back up and time it like that and then pound it. And use a deep socket because that's better. So like, which one? This one here. Oh, that one might have actually worked, that bigger one. Might not have worked, okay. Okay. Give that guy a shot. Ka-ching!
Should have had something to hold underneath. I didn't think so.
Oh, that's fine. Well, yeah, it's pretty rusty in there. I mean, it's kind of gross. Kind of gross. And then what did he do to clean inside here? Did he use some sandpaper or something? Or
Yeah, he used Scotch-Brite.
a Scotch-Brite pad? Okay. Let's see what it looks like. Pretty good. This one's got a little bit of rust on it that's not coming off. Okay, so these pounds, you can see the pounding drove over the edge and kind of undid your work. So you probably want to come back and hit that with the little diamond.
It'll learn now.
Yeah, well, you can use the back side or the top side of it. Okay. Now this part's usually pretty easy. What I do for this guy is, and it's why I like it long like this, because you got a nice big lever arm. So you should just set it in here, like so, and then hit it. Hit it like right there,
Just
and it'll drive that cap.
with
If
the
you don't
hammer?
like that, yeah, and if you don't like that, you can hit it like that.
Okay.
Either way.
right where?
Well, you want to hit on, so this is a forged end, and it's welded onto this formed tube. So hit on this forged end right there is good. Nice. And be sure not to hit right here. You want to hit forward of that weld. Good. That's it. You've hit the flange, so. Yep, that's it.
What do you mean that's it? Now
Well, flip it over, do the same thing. Though. And hopefully some of those pins fall over and make your life easier. Can't tell if any did. Doesn't kind of look like it. Great. And knock a few pins over and you can pull the things out.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I guess I can move this noisy thing. It's probably screwing up the sound on the camera. Fantastic. Did you do it on both sides?
No.
Okay. If those don't come nicely, you can take some pins out of here and stick them in there with little pliers.
No. Forgot.
That's fine. You're doing it. You could even use the socket at this point to make sure that your hits are well centered. That should be done. Beauty.
Oh wait, what am I doing? The socket?
He is not knowing.
We did this.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to pound like that because you're putting a very fine 2-point bolt on that thing.
Correct. How did you?
So what I would do is maybe set the socket in here like this. Let go. Or
I thought I was gonna use this one.
yeah, yeah. Just move that for a minute. Just set the socket where you've got a shoulder on it, like that, and then go ahead and set it up there. It looks like it needs to turn a little bit, about like so, about like that. Lovely. Now you can take these two to the solvent tank, this flange here and that thing there, and scrub them.
Okay, well I'll do that after. I'll put this on.
Well, yay. Yeah, let me carefully get this out of
Should
here.
I throw these things away or save them for any reason?
There's no reason to save them. Even if we got the wrong U-joints, we wouldn't put these back in because they're destroyed.
Are we keeping the rubbers?
Nope. That's all part of the replacement.
Is it?
Yep.
I want to look at this.
Sure. It's so beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah. Isn't that fun? They're actually easier to get together than apart. Obviously, the yokes have to be in good shape in terms of their inside diameter of that hole.
Mhm.
Otherwise, doesn't work. The other thing you could use is this carbide bit here. You just want to make sure that if you're doing the yoke, where'd the yoke go? That's no yoke. Oh, you could do this like on the drill press. You just want to make sure that you're not going down into this bearing area here because this is where all the work happens. So I usually like to leave these surfaces not affected. Now, if they've got rust on them like this or
I
stuff,
think he said he rubbed the rust off.
yeah, that's a good idea. But you can just do this with the carbide bit in here and then go around it like that, and actually even at a little bit of an angle, a little bit. I'm exaggerating here because the only part that got messed up is the part where you pounded and hit it with the socket. So you could do it that way. Carbide is amazing. It's very hard stuff, and it eats steel like normal drill bits eat aluminum. Oh, you have it at the machine shop, right? Yeah.
The students aren't allowed to use those without permission.
That is awesome. And then, of course, what's your cutting speed on carbide relative to like regular tools? Is it faster or slower?
I don't know. I haven't used carbide much at all.
Okay.
Maybe once.
Okay. Well, we'll run it at slow speed and see how it goes. Probably it's a waste of time. The way I like to do anything on this is I'm going to hold it with two hands, and I'm going to just go around like that. If you hold it with one hand, it's going to get into weird places. And I try to hold my hands at like a normal angle to each other, because if they're both here, it'll get wiggly. But if I can do it at a normal angle, then it's fine. Even 180 would be a bad idea because it would go like this. So normal hold is good, and then you can pull this thing down until it's at a decent height, like that, like so. Yeah, and it's going slowly right now, which may or may not be good. But
So this stuff I can throw away.
all that stuff gets thrown away. Yep. I'll move here. Sad diamond. You definitely want to have eyeglasses on for the carbide because it makes tiny shards.
Sure.
It's not like normal cutting tools.
This now, We started with this,
Um,
or did we?
yeah,
hammered the
I mean,
outside
you could try hammering on the outside first to see if it works.
first? No, we didn't get much anywhere.
Now you don't want that clamped in there. You want it loosened, just loosen the tiniest bit. There you go, good enough. Yeah, we didn't get anywhere, but you might. Okay, so that's bad. Why? Where's your energy going?
Into my hand.
Right, don't do it that. So anytime you're pounding on something, you want to get it to a place where it's stable. And then when you pound, all of your energy goes into the work thing. So if it's up here and it's kind of hitting and coming down, lift this guy up a little bit so that now your work goes directly into it. But I would avoid a clash right here because you don't know if that's holding the thing up. Yeah, perfect. And you just got to feel it to know if it's working right. Oh my gosh, this is just like the factory manual says. Look at that. Oh, this was the side that wasn't rusty at all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow. You probably just grab that with your teeth and pull it out.
No.
Now, the only thing that keeps these from getting nasty, rusty and stuff is the paint that you put on them. And I don't know why American cars, they don't paint any drive shafts that I've ever seen. Like, you look under an American car at the dealership and it's a bare steel yoke. It doesn't make any sense. All they'd have to do is hit it with a spray can and it would be so much better. But they don't. So Chris Fix had to deal with that. Remember, that was the other drive shaft that he worked on that was like from a Z71 Chevy pickup.
With the plastic?
Yeah, with the cast-in plastic. And that was so rusty, but that look is actually typical. Oh, so the other thing you can do here is just squeeze that in there like that. Because you don't care about the cup. And rotate. Rotating is always more powerful. Yep, just twist it back and forth and pull. Is it spinning
No.
or is it?
Not
Yeah.
independent.
It's spin. Here, tighten that thing up like you mean it. Okay. And then try just pound this up like that. See what happens. Okay.
Have you ever had that happen before? Where it's
Where it's what?
really easy to come out?
Yes. Yeah. Now, sometimes that'll happen because the yoke itself is worn into an oblong shape. And so you'd want to be really careful that that's not the case. You know, like the yoke is damaged.
Mm-hmm. Can I do this?
You could, but there's a better way. That's the way I would do it. Yeah. And not tighten it. Yep. Oh, yay. How lucky we are. Sometimes you can get that spider on the edge of the cup instead of the middle of the cup, and it'll just push the edge out.
I don't know what you mean.
Feel that qualitative difference? That's because your yoke is bottoming out on the shoulder of that spider thing.
Mm-hmm. To do the thing.
Yeah, usually the needles will hold it in such alignment that you can't remove it until one of the cups is actually gone. These are made by GKN, which is the best manufacturer. They make all kinds of aerospace products. So these are original U-joints, which is great. It's really great because it means this car doesn't really have a lot of abuse on it. As you can see, those U-joints are kind of undersized. When we look at the Jaguar ones, they're monstrous compared to those. These U-joints are quite undersized for their application. Therefore, the fact that they look pretty nice, they don't look messed up, that's a good sign for your car again. Yep, that's good. The only thing that's wrong with your car is they put that corner on from the red car. And we just need to go through and weld up that, double weld that seam, make sure it's really nice on there. Everything else in your car is really great. So, floors aren't rusty. Little dog leg is, but that doesn't matter.
What am I doing?
What are you doing? Now, usually I don't like to have more than one of these apart at a time because there's a remote chance that you're going to put this yoke on that thing.
Oh, I was thinking about efficiency, but that makes sense.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, you would only save a small amount of time. So if I was you, I would just leave. I would make it physically impossible to mix these things up by setting them in different places in the workshop. Just leaving those together somewhere and then coming back to them. Great. And then once you get the whole thing back together and lubricated and everything, then we give it a paint job. And it'll look super nice. Okay. So I guess maybe grinding those things is the next thing so that they'll go in easily and they'll line themselves properly.
I had glasses.
Glasses. Here's some right here. Fantastic. It's all good.
Is that metal?
That was an aluminum thing, yeah, to cut the edges. Is that too low?
Yeah.
Should we raise it up just the tiniest bit? So you just unscrew that a little bit. Yep. Use the thing. Use the force.
Right.
Have a very firm grip.
Right foot on there?
If you want to.
You can't set the speed on this, can you?
You can, but it's not easy like a regular, normal, friendly lathe or a drill press.
Sure.
Okay. Do you want it faster or slower? I mean, you can fire it up and we'll just set it to 4-speed.
Is it gonna catch?
It might. Yeah, so you just kind of be careful with it. Now, look at what you're doing, too. Do you need to do it in that spot, or do you only need to do it in certain spots? And you just look and do it in the spots you need to do it in and don't in the ones you don't.
Okay.
Okay, you ready? And if you want, you can check it with an old cup. See if you're close. See if it does what you want it to do. So for me, I see it on this side and I see it over here. You can see how it's different, right? Right there.
Yeah.
See how it's shiny at the top? That's where the cut forced it out. Forced the material away. That's the part that kind of cut away. That shiny part. Yep. That's doing it. Now the difficult thing is it gets shinier as you do it, so you have to just kind of imagine it. Drop down?
No.
See
That's
how it's close?
stuck.
Okay, well stuck is almost there. Try going like this, your hands. Like this. Like that, so that you can really around it. The meat of your hand. Let me get you a phone trip.
I don't know if I'm doing anything. I don't know I'm doing stuff. Maybe I'm not doing anything.
Are you on to another side now?
No.
Same side?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and tack this thing up a little bit.
What does that mean?
Tack is tachometer, revolutions per minute. Just we'll do the I think when my grandfather got his job at the university, he was able to afford some home woodworking tools. And that's how he was able to afford this. Okay, so I'm setting it on maximum speed. The reason for that is because carbide tends to do just fine at those speeds. Now you'll notice that you want to treat this like a, well, kind of like that high speed or that diamond that you were using.
Move slowly.
Move slowly, move gently, just kind of like that. Okay.
You see any places that?
Let's see here. No, not too. Oh, there's a little bump right there. I don't know if you can see that. See that little bump? Let's see if it comes up on camera. Just one little bump, and then maybe a little bit in this area here. Right there. Maybe just some. All right.
Good or not good?
Oh, probably okay. Yeah, there you go. Got that hole. It'll take a lot of material off, so just be careful. I'll just go around it. And then, of course, the key is you don't want to hit that lower bearing section. That's pretty good. I feel a little bit right there. Okay. I think that's it. That's it. So the most important thing is that it gets lined up nicely, so that when it does go in, it's gonna pass through that area easily, and that seems to. So I'd say with this other side, just go around it kind of gently, but smoothly. It's like a smooth arc. Yeah. Don't take much material off. Don't let it cover like that.
How do you not?
Let me see. I think I pushed more lightly. Use it like a carving tool. Kind of gently approach it. Mind your angle with the I had a little bit of you want to be strong but fluid. Mind your angle. Keep changing the angle. There you go. bad, and there's a few rubs on the bearing port. So you want to always keep in mind that that's a bad angle. So you want to keep in mind you're going to be a little bit like this, not at all like that, okay? You know, to take down this material out. Really fine. Yeah. That's done. That's totally done there. I wouldn't take any material off that part. It's easier with a better tool. That's just not a super great tool for this. Feel what they're doing, right? Everything there and there. Yeah, it's moving right there. That's good enough. Misaligned. Yep, that looks good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's nice.
Okay.
Okay, so that one's ready to go to the solvent tank. This one's ready for the. This will be a lot easier because of this big thing. I would just go zzz, mind the angle as you go around zzz, like that, and be done. Now it's going to want to go like that. And that's going to be a huge problem because you're going to have broken shards of carbide flying through the shop. So this one you might want to do with the diamond, but you can look and see. Oh, I don't even see any place it needs it there.
Oh, I can test it first.
Yeah, you can. It's probably a good idea. Okay, so you got a little bit there and there. That one's probably good. Did it start to want to go in? No, same place on this one too. No, same place. Okay, so just a little bit. Let me try it first and see if there's. So in janitorial work, when you're doing when you're cleaning with chemicals, you want to let the chemical do the work. And there's kind of a similar philosophy here with this: is let the tool spin nice and fast and take off tiny amounts of material rather than trying to bear into it and get a lot off in one pass. Just a little bit. I think I need to do a little bit more. Yeah, it wants to jump around because I can't hold it in the same way as before with the other side. So yeah, it's fine like that. It's well aligned and it gets stuck easily, so that's good. So you do the side if you want.
On this?
Yeah. Or you can use the diamond. Whatever. This is faster. The diamond is safer and more precise. You have to think about the forces that are being used, so it doesn't go wham like that. That would be really bad.
How did you hold it?
Up close with my hand. And at some clock, looks like about 4 o'clock, it's starting to get kind of wonky. About 3:30 there. I guess working in a machine shop, you don't do a lot of handwork. Or how much handwork do you do in a machine shop?
Your name. A lot of it is measured.
That's the wrong angle. Really good. Even though the tool wants to chatter and jump away from you, try to beam the end of the tool. This tool takes off a lot of material, so you want to be careful not to take too much off. Yeah, looks like it's good. Okay. Not shutting off. That's never happened before. Lower lead. We need to see what's going on with these guys. Super nice now?
What?
It's super nice?
Thanks. Better. I didn't get in there
Okay.
because I didn't want to mess up anything.
You can get in there with a wire brush. Easier than anything else, really. And you can go ahead and use steel on it because you're not going to damage anything except the rust. I would mount it so that you don't hurt your wrists. Where'd that thing go? Let's see it. Oh, here it is.
What's up?
Nothing.
Oh, you were getting that thing.
Yeah, I was putting that thing away.
Thanks.
The coolest thing would be if we had a wire wheel that would get in there, but I don't know that I do.
It's okay.
I have this little guy. You can try.
I think. Oops. I scratched.
I don't know if that'll work. It seems kind of hokey.
It's okay. This is fine.
All right.
Okay. So now
Okay. It's kind of weird.
yeah, it was symmetrical too.
Okay.
Now
Nice.
just put it back.
Yeah, just rub it with a cloth so it's really clean. Were you able to dig in there relatively well? Is it clean in the place where the circlip's going to go?
I didn't really get in there with that tool.
Okay. You want to make sure that area is nice and open so that the circlip goes in easily. Oh, I do have the brass one. Let's see if that's the right size. And
Oh, there was just one spot I couldn't get. I feel like a dentist.
yeah. Oh, this would work.
What?
You could try that.
I don't need any more.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it on the other ones.
Okay. Let me see what it looks like. This guy.
You did one side?
Mm-hmm. Should I do the other one?
Mm-hmm. Can you do this one spot in there?
Hmm?
Just at the bottom of this side. So,
How's the other side look?
well, oh, it's fine.
Okay. So,
Should I throw these other ones away?
yeah, just keep one around for if you need to do sizing on it. So the trick with this part is you want to make sure that the needles don't fall over.
The what?
The needles don't fall over. They stay upright. Because sometimes what will happen is the needles will fall over like this, like that. And that's bad, because you can ruin the U-joint easily
Sure.
if that's the case. So what I usually do is I will put one in about just a fifth of the way. And then I'll put the spider in, and I'll drive that one through the rest of the way. And I don't think you can use these with that, because you're going to use the socket method to drive them in.
Oh.
No, not that way. So let's see. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Which way is it going to go? It's going to go like... Yeah, so start by putting this one in here. Just put one of those cups in here. Yep. Now, do they have enough grease on them that they're not going to fall over?
I don't know.
Well, to me it looks like the grease is about halfway up
Yeah.
only.
So not enough?
So not enough. So put more in there. And for this you want to use the thickest grease possible. Because really the grease has a holding function rather than a lubricating function. So just pick some up and spoosh it all around in there. And it's okay if you get extra, that's fine. It'll squish out. Looks pretty good. Look held in there nicely.
There's just a spot where there wasn't much.
Now, when I was 17 or 18 and I was doing U-joints on my car, I went to the auto parts store and I got U-joints, and I was coming back and I was doing them on my car, and I went to talk to one of my friends who was an older guy. He was like in his late 30s. And I think he might have been an engineer. And he said, don't touch the bearings with your bare hands. And don't touch the ends of the spider with your bare hands, with your bare fingers. Because we didn't have gloves back then. That wasn't a thing. Okay, you go ahead, squish this thing in there. Oh, we're doing this side first. Right. You want to put that in first, and then... Now, alignment here is critical, but it tends to self-align also. And of course, we don't want to put a lot of force on this. If things start to look wonky, we don't want to squish this yoke. So, yeah, look at it normally. So do a...
It's going in pretty, I mean, there hasn't been any...
Good.
How far do I go?
Not too far, just like about a fifth of the way is what I usually
That?
do. No, that's not even far enough.
That wasn't a fifth of the way.
No.
That was a fifth of the way.
Well, from where it starts to get difficult.
Oh. Good.
Okay. Essentially what you want to do is the amount of distance that you were able to push it out with the spider shoulders before, that's what you want.
To show. Okay.
So is that about what that was, or do you need to go
Yeah,
in a little
no,
more?
that's about right.
And you just don't want to go in where the black rubber thing is proud of this. That's what you don't want. So you actually have plenty of room to go. You could go a little further.
Okay.
And just keep your normal look on alignment. Do a 90-degree look. Make sure it's going in the correct way. Nice. Sure, that's great. Okay. Now you can put that little spider thing in there. And I would take the opposing one off. Yeah. Yep. There you go. Now, usually you want to have the U-joint, hang on, you want to have the Zerk fitting pointing toward the middle of the shaft. That's how I would say to do it. Yep. And occasionally you'll notice on the yoke that there's going to be a...
Can you flip this so this side is pointing down?
Occasionally there's going to be a cutout in the shaft for the Zerk, and you'll want to respect that. This doesn't seem to have that. Now, one test I always like to do, just for alignment checking, is that should be visually in the center, and it kind of doesn't look like it is. But maybe we're okay. So you're down on the shoulder, so it should technically go a little further. But let's see what happens if you just tighten it up there.
What?
Well,
this is hitting you.
Yeah, this shoulder is different because of the Zerk fitting. Yep, just go ahead and start driving it in.
Really difficult. Do you think
It is?
I'm against a
Let's see.
needle?
No, that's good. That's fine. It's doing good.
Go all the way in?
Yeah, go all the way in.
It's really hard.
Okay, let me feel it. Nope, yeah, it's hard. Okay. So, nope, so you're still where the shoulder is. The shoulder is still infringing upon the inside of the yoke there.
So, what does that mean?
I don't know, I'm not quite sure why it's so difficult. I still don't think we're at a risk of damaging this forging, but it also doesn't look perfectly well aligned. See how we're not centered?
Yeah, do you think there's a needle wrong?
No, I do not. So what I would do is try to drive this guy to center. And I just do it with a screwdriver, just pull it a little bit like so.
It's not.
Okay.
It doesn't want to move.
Okay, let's get this thing in here. This, like that. Okay. Get a little bigger screwdriver. This friend here. Oh, now. Maybe this way is the best. Yeah, I think so. I think the issue is we didn't put any grease on the outside of the cup.
Should I?
Yeah, I think so. I think you should have a little bit of coating of grease on it so it can slide in there easier.
It was pretty, just metal on metal.
Yeah, I would normally expect the cups to have a little more grease on them than that, and I didn't feel it with my finger, so I didn't notice.
How much?
Oh, how did we do this? We did it wrong. Wait, how did we do it wrong? This is going the wrong way. I want to have the Zerk fitting pointing toward the center of the shaft. And the way it was pointing at the flange side of the shaft. So it was pointing like this, out this way. And I like to have Zerk fittings come this way because I thought you did too. That's why I'm surprised. Because when I'm looking at this, there's more clearance here for the gun to go. So let's just flip it around. That looks pretty good, yeah. So what I would say here is just, I'm going to let you stick this thing in here and you can feel that you're not offending any pins.
You mean this is on the inside?
Yeah, toward the center of the shaft.
Okay. I was thinking about just the direction, not the side, you know? I don't think I can get it in there.
I don't think you can.
And I don't want to try.
Well, you should try. Oh, don't set it down.
Because I don't want to mess up the needle.
Set that other thing down. Okay. So how can it go in there?
How?
Yeah. There you go. Okay, now is it in a good way? Yeah, that's good. Okay, so what I would say here is, well, I have to go in a little further. I was going to say tip it using that method right there. And get it, look, eyeball up top here, and hold it with your hand and get it so that it seems like it lines up better.
It's
Looks closer already.
yeah.
Maybe what you can do is spray a little bit of something in there, a little bit of lubricant, and it'll lubricate
Well, it
the
keeps
cup.
wanting to turn, so it's going that way
Okay.
and this way.
Oh, you just did it. Perfect. I think that's it.
Okay.
All right, so now it should
Now what?
put some lubricant on it and drive it in.
On
with,
what?
Just with the way that we were doing with the vise. So
What?
you can put some PB Blaster on it, or let me see if I got a better oil.
Wait, put it on what?
The lubricant on the outside of the cup.
This one that we're installing now?
Correct.
I did that.
How'd you do that? No, this one.
What?
Lubricate that cup on the outside.
This thing?
Correct. You can use PB Blaster.
Sorry.
That's cool. That's fine. It went around.
Okay.
That's good. Okay, so now try. See if it'll go in. Good. That felt good. That feels a lot better. Now, before the rubber clears, check to make sure you don't have a needle pushed by getting that shoulder all the way down.
What?
Take this shoulder and drive it that way. That'll let you know you don't have a needle twisted, a needle
Oh.
flopped over, right? If you can bring it all the way to that rubber,
Oh,
then
yeah.
you probably don't. Okay? Good. And now what I would do is, you know, obviously we don't want to squeeze these two shafts together, or two yokes together, so open it up, and then put the, check the centering. Oh, that looks really good. Okay, now, not yet. Now take the small socket, open this up 4 turns or something. Okay? Or maybe 6 turns, and drive that in there. Great. Great. Yep. Now, what I do on these is I overdrive them. Is that the right size socket? I guess it is. I overdrive them. I push them further than they're supposed to go.
It's not central.
Okay, flip it around because the socket's smaller on the other side. There you go.
Stop moving.
Okay. All right, so overdrive it until you hit this jaw, vice jaw. You gotta be a little careful you don't come out too far and get it cockeyed, because then it won't.
Cockeyed?
Yeah, you don't want that cup to get twisted. You want the cup to go straight. If the cup comes out and starts to leave any of these surfaces, you won't be able to get it out. So just make sure you keep enough surface in there.
Surface of
The bearing,
bearing.
the outside surface.
What about the rubber?
Don't worry about the rubber. That doesn't have anything to do with the structure of it. And you'll feel it get stiff when this spider hits the other side of the. That's probably as far as I go. Okay, so now you can see that you're over-centered, right? This U-joint is not centered in there anymore.
This is far.
Yeah, and that's too far. Good. So what that does is it allows you to get the cup in further before worrying that you're going to tip some needles. So just do one glass check on the needles to make sure that they're all pressed in properly. And then take this and lift it up to meet the needles, but don't disengage from these needles yet.
Can we flip it over so I can bring this up?
How do you want it? You want it like that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Wait. You said bring this down?
Yeah, bring the spider down. But not so it disengages with the needles on the other cup. Not that far down.
I think I need help.
Okay. Let's look at it. Okay, so this guy, we're going to come up. Overdrive this a little bit more.
Okay.
Keep going. I'll tell you when to stop. That's good. Okay. All right. So now this guy comes up and it hits. So we can't do any better than that, right? So you should be able to get your cup in there and make sure you're not fouling your needles. Now hold this up tight. Hold that up tight that way. Yep. Check your needle cup, make sure none of them are messed up.
That's just grease.
Okay.
sure if I sanded it enough.
Okay, pull it out and check your needles again. Good?
Fine, yeah.
Okay. So just go ahead and go like this and stick that cup in there and see what happens. As long as your spider is centered, which you just looked at, it should drive in nicely. And then spray, or is it got grease on the outside or something?
It's I think it's rubbed off as we've touched it.
Sure. Okay. Fantastic.
Very smooth.
Now here's where you got to kind of feel and make sure that nothing. You got to imagine, take your proprioception right to that point. So you're feeling with your hand, everything is, you're sensing.
It's tougher now.
Okay, we're good. This doesn't feel like any have fallen, so you're good to go. Just go ahead and drive it. That's good. Yep. Wiggle this back and forth. Yep. I'll drive this guy like this. Okay. Nice. Okay. And put the socket on there. And what I usually do is put a clip in at this point over here.
Oh.
These are more the clips I'm used to seeing of that style.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely.
It's not in there all the way.
Well, that's because that side's down.
Oh.
You can just lift it up with the screwdriver. Beauty. Now, normally you don't want to press hard against the circlips, but so just be aware of that as you're doing it. Yep. So now keep an eye on the centering here, and look at both cups as they move into position. And go for it. Yep, just drive it in. Should be good. What's up? Give me a try pull on.
Yeah.
See?
Oh.
Good.
What is that snapping with?
Oh, it's just bad lubricant. We really need grease. Okay, hang on a second. You're off center. Okay, there you go. Go ahead. PB Blaster is not the greatest lubricant.
Should I put some here? It's probably dry.
I did already, but I'll put some more. No?
A little bit. What's up?
Okay, now we just look at the circlip.
Good. Now we check if there's room.
Probably not quite room yet.
Mm-mm.
Close though. Okay. Oh, take your hammer and hit it right here. That's why this thing's so beat up. Keep going. Now move this a little bit. Tighten it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that good?
Yeah, give it another couple hits. Okay, now let's look at the circlip over here, make sure we're not overdriven. The circlip will start to pooch out when it gets overdriven.
Yeah. No, it's pretty flush, actually.
Good. And that one looks down
Looks
more than it
good.
was before. Yeah. Let's see. This is taking a long time, but it's fine. I have 4 hours to change these. So that's the other thing I do, is I'm cupping my hand around that circlip. I'm not letting it hang out in free space ever.
Okay.
Well, your hand's going to have to cup like this to get over the flange.
What?
Your hand is going to have to cup like this,
Yeah,
not like this.
No, I have to close it. What's going on?
I wouldn't close it until it's on the thing. Beauty.
Just. Where did the thing go? Push it.
I don't know.
Hmm.
I would still use that other tool. Good. And then push it down with a screwdriver. Should work. Just give it a little tap.
What?
Fell right in.
Mm,
That means this cup is overdriven.
the cup.
Mm-hmm.
Further out that way?
It needs to go further out
Oh.
this way. It's overdriven. It's in too far. That's what that
Oh.
means. Because it shouldn't have snapped in that easily. So the way to to bring that out, go ahead and tighten the vise. Because now you can't even, well, this moves really tightly. Wiggle that. Just go round and round.
I don't want to hit it.
Now I'll get my hands out of the way, don't worry. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Good. Okay, so now feel this with your hand.
Mm-hmm. This is what happened in the video.
Right. So now just set it here, and then just pound a little bit right there. Probably done. Now feel it. So that's how I like to do them, is I like to just kind of use the spider to push it one way or another. I haven't heard of this method before where you knock on that. I don't know about that method. Because you're not actually driving anything with that. You're just using vibration and hoping it's going to open up, and I guess it does. I mean, he clearly did it on the video. I've just never done it like that before.
Yeah.
Great. So that's it. Now it's time for the other side. And I'll get a bit of lubricant because PB Blaster is not a good lubricant. That was that chunkiness there. What is an amazing lubricant is whatever they used in the tranny. It's probably not 90 weight. It's a little lighter than that, but I bet it'll still work. Okay, so you got your yoke. You're going to check your mark for indexing. Make sure that your cups are well aligned, etc. And this is the same as before. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to pretend like this spider is out in free space. It just happens to have a shaft attached to it. We're going to use the same technique on that. Now, to me, this isn't clean enough. This rusty business in there, I'd want to see that gone. Let me give you that little wire brush. You want to be careful with this wire brush because it's very delicate. Being brass, it will deform easily. So high speed and low force. And then reverse it every once in a while so the tines don't just get simply dragged over in one direction. Sweet.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So let's put. You can leave that in there because we'll use it for the other side. Let's actually use 90 weight because it's very lubricious. These chains are really long.
Hmm?
The carbon chains in this stuff, very long.
What does that mean?
Well, you
Sticks
got to.
together?
Well, it's just like these long spaghetti strands. They're,
Huh?
It's much better than the short ones. Oh,
Why?
the lube that's on here is not slick. I mean, it's kind of chattery. That's interesting. So I'm just going to clean that stuff off, and we'll put the gear oil on there. Gear oil is amazing stuff because it's meant to lubricate when you have extreme pressure. And it doesn't squirm out of the way because the chains are long enough. They don't slide out of the work zone. Okay. All right, so you remember the process from before?
Yeah.
Okay, how do you want to do it?
Take them off.
Okay. Here, you can do them both simultaneously because they're not unique. Well, you shouldn't ever have problems with these U-joints. Because you're not going to beat the car, do clutch dumps and massive on-off throttle jerking. So they're so tiny and cute. It's really amazing to me that these tiny U-joints are able to stand up to the weight of the MGB. Okay. Okay, so how are we doing this? Okay. Now that we have 90 weight in there, we're going to see if it behaves any differently. Sure, that's fine. Now I didn't want to round off the edges of this here, so I would engage a little more on this guy, yeah, like that. And keep in mind, you're not actually symmetrically positioned because of this angle. A modern U-joint is probably machined on both sides, so you don't have the problem that you're running into now. This is kind of a hokey setup. In modern times, it's better.
Yeah. How did we do that?
I don't know. You could do it like this and just kind of keep an eye on it, I guess.
Good.
Put something in there? Yeah, you're right. Here, let's put something in there. Hang on.
Want this?
Let's put something in there. We use this polyurethane. It'll heavily deform. Not sure. Okay, right there.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
That's good. You don't want to go past the rubber
Oh.
thing there because you still got to get that spider in there.
Forgot.
Okay, here you go. Okay, wait, girly. Where's your mark?
Mm.
Where'd you punch it? Okay, and where's the other punch? Nice. Okay. Ooh, just skated in by the skin of your teeth. Nice. Okay, we know the needles are engaged, so drive it in like that. Awesome. Then we can put this guy in here too.
Why didn't we do that last time? It just worked out.
Well, this flange was not as screwed up as the
Oh.
other one. Now be careful because your vise is going to hit that before too long, and you'll want to come back with the socket. Ah! Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. I should put the socket in.
Yeah, you should. Just unscrew it a bunch. And I'm going to hold it here so that same thing doesn't happen. So make a socket size over here.
Over
Even-
here?
Yeah, socket size, but we're not going to put the socket there. Just make socket size so that you know how far to unscrew it. Great. All right. Ready now?
Mm.
Okay.
Got it.
Yep. Great. That's kind of funny. Okay, and overdrive it as far as you can before it doesn't pop out.
It's like
It's
jolting.
weird. It's probably good. Okay. All right. Now this side. Oh, is this centered? Yeah. Oops. Oh, that's okay. It's still working.
Are we doing this thing? Is that what you
Oh,
said? This
no,
side?
not yet. No,
Oh.
put the cup in.
Oh. Cup.
It seems like it's good. Okay, it's right in between the two needles, so go ahead and tighten it. Just go round and round. All that jerking is going to upset things. Okay, go ahead. Hang on, let me see if I can scoot over. Oh, danger. Well, I can't scoot over. I can't scoot over that way for some reason. Something's messed up. So let's see if I can push it. No, something's not right. So this is the kind of the danger zone, the way I'm feeling, for one of the needles tipping over. So we can either choose to continue driving and hope it goes down, or we can try to pull this cup out. Okay, so the only way we can pull the cup out right now is to grab it with the vise. Right here.
Oh.
But the slamming that you're doing with the stick, we don't want those vibrations. I don't know. And of course, you don't want to deform or crack the cup. Go ahead. You want to hold it in there properly, but no more. Okay?
Is that bad? Really bad.
Okay, so what we're going to do is you're going to lift up right here with the screwdriver. Right there. That's not going to be big enough. We need a real big one.
Oh, we had one out.
Might have put it away. Okay. Just lift up right there.
What?
Right here.
Right.
Right here. Well, angle up. I mean, you want to lever up, right? Like stick that thing in there and go like this.
Oh, across the entire.
Maybe. I don't know. Okay.
No.
Okay, good. So we'll try again. And this time we'll just be a little more careful. We're roughly centered, so we're pretty good. We got some room. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up, actually I'll use this vice straw. I'm going to open up the this side here, which is a little scary.
Open up.
Well, I'm expanding the distance there, and I'm potentially falling off of those. But the goal is to try to give you enough room. Actually, you should do this. You should pull this over just enough, but not too far, so that you can get your needles in there. And it doesn't look centered to me. It looks like the yoke is too high, or the spider is too high. Pull the cup off with your left hand. Does that spider look centered in the thing, or is it too high?
Yeah.
It does? That looks better. Oh.
I'm moving it around so I can figure it out.
Yeah, I think this is centered. Unless
It
it's
is
not.
There's more room on this.
Okay.
thing.
All right. Well, then my vantage point is messing me up. Okay. So now bring it out. Bring the spider that way if you can. Okay. Oh, nice. Oh, that. Okay. Now we're kind of in the same spot we were before, but is that better? Let's see. Oops. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and keep driving. Yeah, I hope that sound wasn't a needle falling over, but we'll see. Okay, that's probably as far as we can go until we fix things. Okay, so now just grab it with your hand and move it back and forth and see if it feels right. Are you getting approximately the same amount of deflection? Like, does it appear that there's an obvious gap between the rubber and the spider on either side? Or do they look similar?
The gap looks similar.
Okay, good. Because imagine if a needle was I think it must be getting tired. Was fallen.
Had fallen.
Had fallen. You would be unable to close that gap. with the rubber. Okay, so then let's get this squishy bit out of here. 'Cause that's no good. Put that over there. Okay, so we'll go like this. Actually, let me put this polyurethane in there because I like that method. That was much more gentle.
Going diagonal?
I don't know. I can't see. All I can see is your hand. I can't see what's going on. Okay, so this has to go over that way more.
See how this is?
That's because of these dumb flanges on the outside. They're not cut square. They're just whatever they are. They're left as forged. Good.
What's good?
Yeah, it feels good now.
Mm.
Okay, go ahead and drive it in. Yep. Keep going. We're not close to center yet.
I didn't put the things in yet, but it's circled.
I know. Okay, give a little hit with the hammer right here. Okay, give a better hit with the hammer here. There you go. Whoa. So when you're hitting, look here. Don't look over there. Okay, that might be good. So let's check circlip on the far side. It might already be too far. No, it's really close. So that'll probably go in there, okay?
I'm getting all messed up.
Loosen it. Open the tool up. Tighten that pivot.
Oh,
This is an adjustable tool, so you have to always maintain the pivot at the correct tightness. Crank it down. And it has a little spring under there, but you know, it's just something that needs to be maintained. So every time you open it, it's tending to unscrew the screw, and that's just the way it is.
What's the benefit of that?
Well, you put it in this other side, and it becomes an external snap ring tool. So the adjustability means it's unstable, that it can be used for internal or external snap rings. The better choice is to have dedicated internal snap ring pliers.
I think I should try the other side.
Okay, now you put this snap ring in upside down relative to the other ones. These are a stamped
What?
metal part. They're stamped metal.
Oh, I
So
can try.
just look at it and see how it's got an edge that's...
Oh,
So I don't necessarily think what you did is wrong, but I usually put them with the bevel facing outside.
I mean, that creates better surface connection.
It seems like it would to me as I imagine things in my
I
head.
did the other ones correctly.
Well, the first one that I looked at, you did. And I don't know if correctly is even the right word, but it's how I do them. I don't know. I just have a convention that I follow, and it may not even be any different in reality.
Can I turn it over?
Sure.
I don't know if that's enough room.
Definitely not.
Okay.
So I'm not sure we're going to be able to do it without the... Well, you want to use your socket, right? Socket.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Is this the one I just did?
No, you just did that one.
Oh, because we're... Yeah.
I really don't like that. Let me get another thing. This guy's too soft. So let me get some a little harder. Use this little piece of suede. That might be fine. Okay. Okay. Great. And then give that thing a smack. And watch here, don't watch there. See it move?
Yeah.
Now you can see this. Is that scraping there, or is that? Oh no, that's just the regular machine surface. Okay. Maybe a little more, or is that good? As far as the distance that you've traveled to get the circlip in.
Yeah, a little more.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, it's so rainy. June-uary, as they say.
Oops. Am I taking things off the tool? Taking.
Because you're having a slow difficulty, it tells me that the thing's not in as far as it needs to
Yeah.
be. Okay, so you can just go ahead and put the socket on there. Nice Mevo catch. Still doesn't look like it's quite far enough, but maybe it is. I don't know. No, it's not far enough. I don't know if it's the.
How's the other side look?
There's a gap I can see on this side.
Or this side? Yeah.
Yeah, so that's fine. We'll just drive it a little further. Here's my pad, suede pad. And set a preload with the vise, but do your work with a hammer.
I need you. Yeah.
Oh. Is that it? That looks pretty good. Seems like you hit a little bit of a wall there. All set. Now how's the other side look? Maybe a bit overdriven. So now feel it. What does the resistance feel like?
Fine.
Okay. Now, so now to just do a final center, what I do is I pound them. So what Chris Fix did was he pounded these. What I do is I pound the just to do a check. So I'm going to pound right there, which gets that thing down. No, it's maybe over here because it's bouncing. Okay, and then we'll flip it over and do the same thing. Okay, and then we'll do this one. How are we going to do this one? Is it like... no, is it like... Yes. Okay, so pound right there. Good. And then right there. Good. And now feel it.
That's much easier.
Okay, and then look at all the circlips to make sure none of them are like sprung out from being overdriven or anything. Or underdriven or whatever. Pooched out. They all look like they're really nicely engaged.
Look at this one and this one.
Okay. I'm imagining I see a gap here, but I don't know.
There's a gap there.
At the at that side? Yeah, maybe so. So in that case, we're going to drive the yoke down like that, which means, how do we drive that down? We go hit this, open it up, hit this guy right here. That's good. No, not too far. Okay, so just hit that guy right there. Yep, and only hammer the forging or the weld, not the...
Right.
Looks like that's closed up. Okay. Now, you could maybe drive that cup a little more if you're thinking that that needs to happen. You were trying to get rid of the gap over here?
And supplement the non-gap over here.
Okay, so then if you want to supplement the non-gap, you need to pound this cup in a little bit
You
further.
think there's more gap over here?
I don't know. It could also be just surface, something
I
other.
mean, it's definitely going under here.
It's fully installed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think that's right too, because when I took them out, they were most over, most covered here.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
So I think it's okay.
Yeah, okay, great. So now you just give it a last final feel, make sure it meets all your requirements. Yep, and now do your radial rotationary 1 degree of play test. See if you can get any. You can do counter rotation with your 2 hands as hard as you can. See if you get any.
Yep. Maybe.
Not a thing. Okay, so that's awesome. That's done. And then what we'll do is, gosh, I don't like how that Zerk is. See, the Zerk is, it's not centered, it's offset.
It's just designed like that, I think.
And what's happening is, it's hitting. I don't like this at all.
Yeah, see?
We put this in wrong.
What?
Mm-hmm. So if you look at it, the Zerk, the way they drilled the Zerk fitting is not centered between the parts of the spider. Can you see that?
Yeah.
That's not right. We assumed that it was going to be symmetrically drilled, and it's not symmetrically drilled. So what's going to happen is, as this thing goes in here, it's going to hit that flange. As this comes back, it hits right there. So we have a maximum angle that this driveline can take before it breaks that Zerk off or bends the Zerk. There's not much we can do about it now. I mean, we assembled the whole thing. We could take it apart, but I don't think we should, because there's not always a guarantee that you're going to be able to get it back together without damage. But look at how much room is over here, and this yoke is obviously needing a lot of its strength from that web, where there's no web over here at all. So we should have just rotated this thing 90 degrees that way, and then we would have had that proximity to this thing, which has plenty of space, right? I've never seen this before. Never seen an asymmetrically drilled Zerk fitting like that, and it just unfortunately happened to land next to that one. So my recommendation is we tighten this thing down, tighten the Zerk all the way until it's nice and tight, and then we bring it back here and maybe bend it a little bit and allow it to come in, or just leave it, and well, then it's going to make noise. So the other thing's going dunk, 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 dunk. It's going to make some noises. The other choice is we tighten it down, mark where it is, and relieve a little bit of the side of the Zerk with a grinder, because it doesn't need this entire hole. It's the entire wall. It's not that thick. But live and learn. So look at how thick it is in there, the wall, and it's smooshed down a little bit, but we could easily have a little bit more room on that one. Okay. And then the way I usually do this is I paint them and then put the Zerks in. That way the Zerks pop. And of course for painting, we're going to wait until the other one's done, and then we clean it all off and then paint it and then put the Zerks in. Sounds good? Mm-hmm. All right, you want to try the other one tonight? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, fantastic. That was great. Actually, this can be painted, right? Because you're just going to screw that onto the other piece when it's done.
This can't be painted.
This shan't be painted. So that needs to be just taped off with some tape or a paper towel or something. So you want to paint this tonight?
No.
Okay.
I want to go to sleep.
Go to sleep. All right. Sounds good. What time do you want to start tomorrow?
Oh, I'll get up at 6.
Okay.
And probably work on my assignment.
Okay.
And stuff until 8.
Okay. Sounds good.
And then I can be available.
Okay. Good job.
Hey, thanks for your help.
Well, that was productive.
Do I have any other?
You can put that in here and it'll always be there until you need it.